Ain't missing you.
Hi, I'm Ashley with All Country News, and I'm here with John King. John, it is so nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Ashley. How about you?
I'm good. So, one of your most streamed songs is Try Saying Goodbye. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit about what inspired that song and why you think it resonates with so many people.
That was a song that when we wrote it, I don't think we realized the impact it would have. And not only that, but I never realized how many different ways there were to interpret that song. I mean, when I wrote it with Paul and Jamie Paulin, my producer and co-writer, we were just kind of talking about relationships and how relationships evolve and change and how hard it is, like when you go through those growing pains. Like for me, my wife, we've been dating over half our lives now, and we're completely different people now than we were when we were 15 years old, you know? And so we got to talk about how it's so easy, and a lot of couples get in those hard patches, those hard spots, and give up. I mean, they just can't take that next step, you know, which ends up being fine in some cases, and in others it's like, man, that could have been the one, you know. And so we wrote Try Saying Goodbye about that. That was kind of what we wrote it about, was relationship based. But after we wrote it, I started noticing so many fans reaching out to me, like, you know, I had one guy who was based in Afghanistan saying like this song was helping him cope with being away from his family while he was serving overseas. And I was like, that is exactly why you write songs, is so you can help people. I would have never thought that it would have an impact on someone who was stationed overseas or somebody who lost a loved one. Or I'm just really glad that it made an impact, and glad to be a part of that one.
So, you're talking a little bit about feelings that you get as an artist, and you've been making music professionally for quite some time. So, I actually wanted to ask you, what has been the most surreal moment of your career?
Definitely the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, that's just such a, oh man, it's a hard feeling to describe, like taking that stage where so many legends have been. When I first stepped out, I think my debut, I believe, was in 2014, the first time I played. And I just remember when they called my name to walk on stage, I felt like I was like outside of my own body, like levitating, like watching it happen. It was that, I mean, number one, I was so nervous, I was like about to pass out. And number two, it was just crazy, man. It's like, taking that stage and knowing all the legends who have stood there before you is such a surreal feeling. And then looking out and, you know, having your family there, like supporting you, like all these people who have believed in you. And it's kind of like the confirmation, like the dream, this is it. Like it came true.
You've talked a little bit about your wife a couple times and how you guys are high school sweethearts. I wanted you to talk a little bit about how you guys got together and, you know, how that relationship started.
Yeah. So we met when we were 15. We were freshmen in Haversham at high school there. And it was just, it's funny, like our first date was like riding four-wheelers, just to tell you how redneck we are. That was our first date. But I knew then that this was the girl. I mean, I know that's crazy. And it's honestly, it's such a rare thing to meet someone that young and just know. But I just got lucky, and it's been awesome. And now we have our baby girl, and so that just takes it to a new level. You know, you just love even harder.
Which artist or band is your dream collaboration?
Man, I feel like I've been asked this a few times, and I think I always go back to this answer because he's such an inspiration for me. But Garth, I mean, to me, Garth is just the king of entertaining. He gets up, he owns the stage, he makes everybody feel like they're front row. I just have always looked up to him as an entertainer. And I got to meet him a few years back on the red carpet at the ACMs. And I'm standing like right next to him and Trisha, and they're like the sweetest people. Like he asked me like, hey man, you know, where are you from? Like, oh cool, you're from Georgia, what part? Like, we have some family down there. And I was like, what are you even doing talking to me? Like, you're Garth Brooks. Like, there's all these people interviewing, like, you shouldn't be talking to me, man. Like, but he did, and it gave me even more respect for him. You know, they always say like, don't meet your heroes because you can be disappointed, but like in that case, it just went above and beyond. So yeah, I'd say Garth.
Well, John, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. It was really a pleasure getting to know you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ain't missing you.